Hey, it's Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Let's have some fighting words. In this video, I want to talk about George Kambosos. That's right, the ferocious one from Australia. So it looks like he's making some major moves. He's been very vocal the whole time, ever since he's won the titles, that he's wanted to go back home to Australia and, defend his titles. He's been very, very vocal about that. Also, on who he wants to fight. Now, I do have a little slack against him because I just believe in a man keeping his word. In which case, he did shake Devin Haney's hand right in front of his dad and said, hey, we're going to make this happen. See, the stipulation was this. When guys get a bit more notoriety or a bit more famous or bigger checks, this is what you'll hear. If it makes sense. When you start hearing guys say, particularly fighters, if it makes sense, that means it's going to be a while. If it makes sense means I want the most amount of money that there could ever be. If it makes sense means that they're going to wait out a contract. They're going to wait out who they think the best opponent is. They're going to wait out who they feel has the biggest fan base. They're going to wait out for this arena. They're going to wait out for this time of the year. They're going to wait out, they're going to wait out, they're going to wait out. They're going to basically hold up a whole division because it needs to make sense. When you hear the words, it needs to make sense, basically what you're going to hear is there's not going to be any action in this division because you're not doing anything and you're not defending your crown, your titles. That's what that means. But on the flip side, listen, George Kambosos, I have to say this on the flip side, just to be fair to him, because I am giving him a lot of slack, but he did shake Devin Haney's hand. But on the flip side, he did say he sacrificed a lot, and he did. I believe his daughter was born, and he wasn't able to go home or be with his family, and then with Teofimo getting sick and all those other things, it was tough for him. He'd been in the States much longer than what he planned to be in. So, I understand him saying, listen, I want to go home. I want to be with my family. I want to be able to go home at the end of the day and be around my loved ones, my children, my wife. And I totally agree with that. I totally understand. I don't have any knocks against that. My only knock was I wish you wouldn't have said something like to Devin Haney, say, hey, we're going to make this happen. And, he shook his hand. Devin Haney called him out. Once again, people say whatever they want about Devin Haney, but he will definitely call you out. He will definitely meet you where you are, and he will try to get a confirmation, which I love about him. That's what real fighters do. If anybody recalls, they want to go back in history, so listen, the greats have done that. The greats have done that. Marvin Hagler was calling out Sugar Ray Leonard. Young Cassius Clay was calling out Sonny Liston. Floyd Mayweather, when he was pretty boy Floyd Mayweather, was calling out everybody. He was calling out Oscar De La Hoya. He was calling out Arturo Gatti. Why not? There's nothing wrong with calling that guy out. Especially, listen, if he has a belt and he has a belt, you still have something to gain. It's one thing if a guy's just a contender and he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have the fan base, which, okay, a lot of people would argue, well, Devin Haney isn't the biggest seller in the world. Which, again, I'm not a big fan of that because I just truly believe it's just a way to kind of keep a guy down or whatever, or avoid a fight. If this was 20 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Once again, we're in the post-Mayweather era where it's all about money, it's all about the bread, and it's all about what can you do for me right now in this particular fight. What they fail to realize before the post-Mayweather era was Floyd Mayweather fought everybody and their mama in his division. And he was seeking titles. That's why he's got the most beaten champs on his record. Because he was seeking titles. And these guys, they just want to get to the titles and just kind of sit there and chill on the throne. And fight maybe once a year and just kind of hold on to titles. I don't like it when divisions are stagnant or just pausing. And we're getting this pausing because, he doesn't want to fight Devin Haney. That's cool if you don't want to fight Devin Haney, but at least fight somebody with a belt. But he wants to fight Lomochenko, which brings me into the next segment of this video. He has been very adamant about wanting to fight Lomochenko. Now, quite frankly, I believe personally that George Kambosos has great odds against Vasilliy Lomochenko. I mean, he's bigger than him. He's aggressive. We've seen that guys who fight aggressively do very well against Vasiliy Lomochenko. And he hits hard. He hits hard enough to put him down. It doesn't take much to put Vasiliy down. He's not the biggest guy in the world. And I don't think he has a questionable chin, but he can easily be put down, especially because of the way he fights and he's springing up and around all over the place. He's easy to catch, you know, kind of off guard. I don't want to use this reference in saying that they fight alike, because they don't. What I'm just saying is they spring up, they pop up and, you know, spring up from all angles. Prince Nassim Hamed, you know, when he fought Barrera was catching him every 5 seconds because Naz was just popping up. You know, he would pop over here, he'd jump over here, he'd jump over here, and Barrera got his timing. And I think George Kambosos, with his aggression and his forward movement and his great footwork, would give Vasilij Lomochenko some headaches. I really do think that. Not only that, I think he could put him down. I think he could put him down more than once. I don't think he can knock him out. Vasilij has been down a few times. I don't believe he can knock him out. But I definitely think he can put him down. And if he puts him down enough, I think he can at least put him down 3 times in a fight. Now, why 3 times in a fight? Because by that time, Vasilij would literally have to win every single round, except for those times he was put down. He would literally have to do that. You know, that's the only way. And I'm saying 3 because Deontay Wilder knocked Tyson Fury down twice. And, you know, what happened with them. So I'm saying 3 times, and there shouldn't be any excuse that the judge would have to give it to George Kambosos. But I just think, and it is looking like it's going to be finalized that Vasilij Lomochenko will be the opponent for George Kambosos. And it would be in Australia. I'm happy for him that he gets to go home. I'm happy for him that he gets to represent these titles and these belts and these crowns in his native land. I'm happy for him that he can share that with his people in his country, and they can celebrate him and those titles together while he defends those titles in his land. But, you know, you never know. It's not cement yet, but it's looking that way. And like I said, I actually favor him against Vasilij Lomochenko. You know, I think he does hit harder. I think that's obvious by now. He's not some dummy in the ring, and he works every round. I personally think there's nobody in that division who's more skilled than Vasilij Lomochenko. However, I don't think you need skill to beat him. I just think you need a lot of aggression and consistency to move forward, to continue going forward, because most guys get frustrated. To not get frustrated, believe in yourself and be consistent and keep going forward. And when you throw in the fact that George Kambosos also has great footwork, when you also throw in the fact that George Kambosos has been sparring Manny Pacquiao for years, I think 100% he could beat Vasilij Lomochenko. I think he can put him down 3 times. I honestly do. I don't think he'll win on scorecards if it just goes to a decision. You know, and if there's no knockdown, but I believe he can definitely put him down enough times for the judges to have to waver it in George Kambosos' favor. That's what I believe. And listen, if it happens, who doesn't want to see George Kambosos fight Vasilij Lomochenko? I know I do. I mean, I would love to see him fight Devin Haney because both are undefeated and both have titles, and that could move the division. So that makes more sense. But who doesn't want to see him go up against Vasilij Lomochenko? But those are my thoughts. I want to know what you think. Drop your comments down below. As always, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel.